Welcome. It's BC Pro and the cast. Hey guys, how you doing? Look in the mirror or a reflection right now and just point at yourself and say, you're beautiful. Because you are, inside and out. But today I'm joined with my special guest on my podcast, Braeden and Caeden.
What episode's this?
This is episode 24 of BC Pro and the cast. And we've been feeling your curiosity. We see in the comments that I don't know where I was going to go there. We see in the comments that you guys listen.
People comment.
And we appreciate your comments. We love your comments. We read them, and we like them, and we love them. But today I'm joined with Braeden and Caeden. And you may be wondering why I'm saying that, but it's because I will be asking the questions today. Because my friend here, the myth, the legend, the greatest guy I know, Braeden and Caeden, went across the world.
Across the ocean.
Across the Pacific Ocean. Or Arctic Ocean? Ocean?
Atlantic.
Atlantic Ocean.
And
Mediterranean.
The Med. What I call it.
The Med. Oh, why do you call it the Med?
The Med Sea.
The Med Sea? Like
Med.
Messi?
No, the Med.
The Med? What's
called
the Med?
the Med because when I first arrived over to Greece.
What was that look for?
Because
I'm getting there.
Yeah, the first time I arrived over to Greece, I was talking with my cousin who lives there. And we just traveled for like 24 hours. And I misspoke the word Mediterranean, which I can say.
What did you say?
I don't know. I probably said Mediterranean or something like that. I messed it up. And she's like, just call it the Med. And I go, oh. Is that what like the regular Greeks around here call it, the Med? She goes, no. You can just call it the Med. So that was like the joke throughout the rest of the trip. I'd come up to like my other cousins and be like, oh, you guys going to the Med today? And they go, what's that?
Yeah.
I'm like, the Med. You don't go to the Med? And they're like, and then my older cousin, Michelle, she'd go, kids, the Mediterranean. They go, oh. She's like, you can also call it the sea. So they call it the sea there.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But I have a specific name for the Med.
So it's like when like little kids can't say like grandpa, so they say like papa or like something.
No,
like that.
I think it's like when someone just missays a word, so they're given 3 letters of the word to say.
Honestly, I think it's cooler.
The Med?
I wish I could call it the Med.
Yeah.
But I haven't been to Greece. Dramatic.
Did we say where I went?
No, we're about to get into that. Are you ready for the questions?
Yes, I'm going to try.
Try what?
It's been a while since the trip.
Since the trip. Oh, yeah. Braeden can recall a lot of things really fast. Watch this. What did you eat?
Blueberries.
2 days. He actually probably did. 2 days ago? Inside your smoothie thing?
Oh, yeah. My protein bowl or a smoothie.
Yeah. But, so Braeden, you went to Greece? And you said it was a how long trip?
To get there?
Yeah.
It's probably somewhere under 24 hours.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Did you have to sleep? I'm actually very curious about this. So did you have to sleep on some of it?
The first flight, so we had 2 different flights. The first flight was like the long one. That was like the one we would sleep on. I time traveled. I went into the future.
What did you see?
I saw Greece. Greece lives in a different time zone. No, I slept the first one, a good amount of it actually, like here and there. But I sadly didn't get to watch a lot of movies over the flight. I wanted to. On the way home I did, but on the way there, the goal for us was fall asleep, because then when we were going to get there, the first flight we wanted to fall asleep because we flew from Chicago, we landed in Istanbul, Turkey, and so when we were in Istanbul, then sleeping over that, being awake there, if we stayed up from Istanbul over our next flight, we would land in Greece at like I think it was like 9 or
Yeah.
something, like at night. So basically for that, then it worked out because then once we got back to the house, then we could like fall asleep. When we got back to the house, me and my cousins, we like just downed and destroyed like 3 full pizzas.
Really?
Just because we were traveling the whole time, and I guess we were hungry. It looked like we didn't eat. But
Well, you went on a fast. You went time traveling. Yeah.
yeah, I guess so.
I guess
Yeah.
that didn't- yeah.
I mean, I ate within, I think it was an 8-hour flight, 9-hour flight, 10-hour flight. I think it was a 10-hour flight there, and you eat at the beginning of it and then you eat at the end of it.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy to be on a plane that long. Like during it, you're like it's whatever, but then now you think about it, you're like, man, 10 hours.
And you're sitting.
In the same spot, and you use the bathroom like I only used it like maybe 2 times.
Didn't we find out something about using the bathroom on the plane? Like that you get dehydrated?
Oh, you get dehydrated when flying and travel. That's what someone said.
That's crazy.
Not from using the bathroom, but
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, that makes sense because when you get there, you're kind of like, I don't know, I always felt like I was thirsty.
Yeah.
But my go-to airplane flight drink is apple juice.
Really?
You have to get the apple juice.
Why is
every I don't know, just every meal or any opportunity, I'm asking for apple juice. It just tastes and hits different. But they never give you enough. They never give you enough of the drink.
Do they give you like a small cup?
It's just a small cup, and then if they put ice in there, then it's like less of it. But it tastes so much
Oh.
better with the ice.
Okay. So, you take this flight. First of all, check out Apple Juice. We're sponsored by Apple Juice.
Sponsored by AJ.
AJ, if you're out there, we love you.
That AJ too.
That AJ too. Both AJs. But okay. So, when you land in Florida or something like that, when you land back home in Florida, you kind of like get off the plane and you immediately feel the air is different, right? Like you feel like the humidity, you feel the difference. And when you did you land in Greece or where did you land?
Yeah.
What did it feel like? What were the first steps on the moon like?
When we get there, it was crazy to think that we were in Greece.
Yeah.
You kind of came out there. I guess there was like a smell to it, probably because we were near the sea or the Med. But yeah, it was cool. There's just a lot of traveling, and you're excited to see your cousins and your family and be on a trip for a long time. Like
Yeah.
we were there for I think 10 days.
10 days.
I think.
10 days in Greece?
No, I think the trip was 10 days. So I
Okay.
think it was an 8 because you like lose a day essentially with traveling.
Did it feel like you were in like a different country?
Yes.
Different continent.
Yes, a little bit. It's kind of surreal to think that you're across the world. That's why I like to open up Google Maps. and,
Oh
like,
my
look at
goodness, that tripped me out.
Yeah, look at where my dot is, and I'm like, no way I'm here. And then I screenshot it. Like when we were going to go to Kenya, the first time I went there, I looked at the Google Maps and screenshotted where I am and screenshotted like where my family is.
Dude,
And I'm,
that's
like,
crazy.
That far away.
So what made it feel like a different country?
Like
Like the signs or how people were
stuff
talking?
is in Greek. At the airport, it's not too much different because everyone's there is traveling and everyone there is like experiencing something new or leaving or and I feel like that's a mixture of cultures, the airport.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we got there, nothing really stood out really, and then you got outside and like you kind of felt the air. It was a lot warmer there. It was very, very nice and sunny all week. But yeah, we got there and then we met our cousin and it was just a blast.
Yeah. And so you said that they listen to a certain type of music there? Or what is their like?
Oh, no, just my other cousin, his name's Maki. He really likes house music or EDM.
Yeah. What
so
it
when
sounds
we'd
like
be
what?
driving, we'd be driving in his like really nice souped up sports car, just and we're just like so you'd like to live that. They definitely like their house music over in Greece.
Yeah. And did you mention something about how the way that they drive is a little bit different?
Yeah, so there's barely any policing. So they kind of just drive whatever they want to drive in their own speed limit. the roads are a lot smaller. At certain points, there's not really like lines in the middle of the road. You have to remember that like Greece, and Athens and stuff it's very, very old. It's ancient.
Okay.
Like when the first civilizations and everything was created. So when that area was built up, it was built, centuries, I guess, ago. So like a lot of the stuff is old. It's not as new. The roads are not as nice. And then also, they're not in democracy. I forgot what they are, but they don't pay taxes over there.
Mm-hmm.
So also they don't have like good upkeep with like the city and places like that. But they are now building up like this huge part of Greece, I guess, and they're making it like they're making it like super like modern, and like there's just like acres and acres, like hundreds of acres that they're building like the nicest buildings and all these crazy things. Yeah, so they're like and that's gonna be like in 2 or 3 years back, you'd be like, just come back in 3 years, it's gonna be completely different. Like we're going through like this huge thing.
So they're just going through a transition period?
Well, I think now they're wanting to make themselves like a more of a place to come visit.
Yeah.
So they're doing that. I think it's kind of like similar to like Dubai.
Okay.
And what's happening over with is it UAE, United Emirates, UEA or whatever, over in the Middle East. I believe that's where they are. They're doing like they're like hosting a bunch of fights, a bunch of events. They're making their place like really like something attractive for people that want to like see the world.
Yeah. And do you think that it's going to take away from how beautiful Greece is, or do you think it's just going to add on to? Because you said it was built centuries and centuries ago.
Yeah, no, I think it would add on to it, because like the main areas that have all like the ancient ruins or whatever, it's like still that way. This is like in a different part.
Yeah.
So it'd just be adding on to it.
Okay. This is what I'm very curious about. And I'm always curious what the food tastes like. Do they taste processed? Does it taste healthy? Does it taste different? Like, did you go to any like franchises in the U.S. and try it out there?
So no. When we were there, my cousin did a fantastic job by taking us to different places every time we ate. So we never ate the same spot.
Seriously?
Yeah, we never ate the same spot, and we never went to like any type of restaurant we've been to before. Their one fast food restaurant was like a very nice like sit down restaurant, like almost like their fast food was like an Olive Garden.
Are you
was like
serious?
their fast food. It was an Olive Garden, but it's like that kind of sit down environment. Yeah. And it was insane. My favorite thing like we ate is called a daco.
Not a taco?
No, it's a daco, like the D.
Daco. Okay.
It's like a piece of like whole grain, like great bread, with tomato and some oil and some feta cheese. It's like bread, feta cheese, tomatoes, and the tomatoes are very fresh. And then the oil over it. The feta cheese was spectacular. I would slam like that whole thing down. It was amazing. That was by far like my favorite. And I love tomatoes. Yeah. So when it comes to a lot of their salads didn't have like lettuce. Yeah. It's a lot of like just tomatoes and oil and different things like that.
Yeah. But and so you like the daco. Mm-hmm. Is there any other like what did their food like what was their baseline like? Cuz some people may say that US is like a little bit more greasy or a little bit more bigger portions. What would you classify Greece as? It's
very healthy, unprocessed. It's a lot of like vegetables, a lot of oil. It's a lot of it's a Mediterranean diet. So that's like fish, oils, a lot of natural fats, stuff like that. Yeah. Which, by the way, that's like they say if you want to live long, that's like the diet, I guess, to stick to, a Mediterranean diet. And like the culture over in Greece is like very so much like almost like a little bit relaxed. It's like when you go out to eat, it's like a 2 to 3 hour ordeal. It's like a big event. Everyone gets food, but it's like a lot of family time and spending time together. Everything's a little bit more relaxed.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, and then seeing all the cool places, like people are constantly walking, being social. We definitely got to experience the culture of what it'd be like that. Like we took one of my younger cousins to a soccer game. We saw a school. We went to the supermarket. I got to drive through Greece, which was pretty cool. We were like in the main downtown part of like Athens. We were in the main part of the city, and then we would go out to like the place where it's just rolling mountains, because they have mountains there. Yeah. Mountains everywhere, and just on this road, you're driving through the mountains, looking at the city below. So it's like a rural spot, but then also like the city that's packed with everyone. So we had a wide variety of like really cool experience of culture there, and it's super cool because like overall in Greece, it's like I really like that place. It's also like now one of my favorite colors, Greek blue. I guess that's what
a cool
the blue's
thing
called.
to say. Yeah,
so that's one of my favorite colors, because when we went to like Santorini or just across Greece or even their flag, the blue just really stands out. Like they really associate like that blue with their country.
Yeah,
so it's very, very, very cool.
So you mentioned the culture. I'm curious about like how is there like young people versus the young people in America? Like, are they on their phones, or when you like sat down in the restaurant, you saw that they were intrigued in the conversation and they were like into everything?
Yeah, no, I think they're just normal kids. Like,
normal kids.
I knew where they would be. My younger cousins, they loved soccer, or over there they call football. So they allow that, but they're on their phones and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's that that younger generation is coming up, and even my own, it's going to be pretty similar across the whole world.
Okay, that's good.
Or I don't want to say across the whole world, but across the country, like Europe.
And then the culture with people. What is that like? Are people very friendly? Are people like,
no.
I'm on the... No?
Yeah.
They're like on a path, or what?
They just do their own thing. Like driving is like an example of they kind of just do what they want. They cut in, they go out. There's not really like this or that, like, hey, can I come in? And a very, very simple example that my cousin was breaking down. She was like, yeah, in America, like you could be walking through a parking lot and then you're like coming to the grocery store or something. Like, someone is like 20 feet away from you and they hold the door open for you in America. In Greece, there's none of that. And she's like, I actually like it better in Greece, because in America, I have to then run that 20 feet because I feel bad they're holding the door open.
Yeah.
But in Greece, everyone just does their own thing.
Yeah.
There's not really apologetic or anything like that. It's just like your family, you're straightforward. When they speak their language, it sounds like as almost like they're yelling.
Are you serious?
But they're not.
Yeah.
So I made a joke because Jayla always says that me and Caeden talk loud. So it's like,
I don't know what she means.
We would do very, very well over there, I'd say. But yeah, their culture is just like, they kind of do what they want. For example, when we were going into the Acropolis, so to get your pass, because you have to pay to go up there, it's usually $20 or it's $10. And $10, it's 25 years and young. 25 years old and younger. You get $10 in. Which is kind of crazy, and then everything above it's 20, which is crazy because in America, when you're older, you get discounts. Like you're older, you get a discount. In Greece, when you're younger, you get a discount. And I think they're really trying to push that. Just like the young people, like, we want you to come and learn about our history and do more educational things at the museums and stuff like that. So I found that interesting. Anyway, my cousin, she is 25. She'll be 26 in June.
Okay.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Hopefully she doesn't watch. She'll be 26 then, but this is her year she turns 26.
Yeah.
So when they took her passport and stuff, they said, oh yeah, you're 26. She goes, no, I'm 25. And they go, no, your year says you're 26. She goes, it's not until June.
Yeah.
They're like, no, you're 26. And so they were letting anyone go by and not like checking their passports and stuff like that. Some people they did for their age, but her, they randomly stopped her.
Wow.
And then they made it to like a huge thing. And my cousin that lives there for like 18 years, I believe. She goes, yeah, the Greeks are like this. Like, they, whatever's going on, they don't care, but then they pick someone and then they make it difficult for them, to the point where my cousin, she had to get, the one that lived there, she had to go get a police officer, one of the police officers that was just by the Acropolis, like, entryway, and bring him over to help and explain of, like, just let her in. It's not, she's not 26 years old, she's 25. And then the worker said no to the police officer. And then so she's like, whatever, let's go down and get you the other $10 of the ticket. So they went down to the ticket office where the people are, and they're like, hey, you need to help us out with the ticket and getting the extra $10. And she goes, no, I'm sorry, you can use the kiosk over there. I can't help you. They're like,
Wow.
What? And the police officer came up and was saying, hey, you need to do this. And the workers there said no. Like, I don't know how to do it. Or not even I don't know how to do it, but she can do it at the kiosk. So it's like Greeks definitely, from my understanding, is like they do their thing. Family matters a lot to them. The culture is like enjoyment and having fun with close loved ones. But when it comes to like strangers and stuff, I don't think you care too much of them. But I'm not trying to speak for Greeks or the Greece people.
Because we love Greek.
I do love Greece.
They make
that's
great
just like
yogurt.
A example of like little things of like they just do their thing.
Yeah. Do you feel like you could get into that culture pretty well?
Yeah, I don't know.
Or do you think it'd be hard to adapt?
I could get into that culture. I think I'm too nice for it though.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
But to live there, I don't know if that's what you asked, but I'm just gonna answer it. To live there, I don't know if I could live there just because it's really packed.
Really?
Yeah. It feels like there's a lot of hills and everything. You feel like small. Where out over in Wyoming, there's a lot of space.
Right.
A lot of room. So it's kind of cool to be where we're located and have like spaces between houses, roads that go straight and go long. It's nice to be able like to breathe, to live in like a small town. Where my cousins, they live in one of the wealthiest towns in Greece. Yeah. So there's like big mansions and stuff like that, but like there's just a lot of sharp roads, random roads. At the end of it, because I drove while I was there, which was a really cool experience.
What's that like?
It's just crazy, but it's just cool to say I drove in a different country. I have my international driver's license. So
Sheesh. They don't drive on opposite sides, right?
No.
That's a myth.
It's just
myth
like the same.
Busted.
No. It's the same over there. It's just like policing rules are like not there. And then also you're driving in kilometers. I believe that's what it is.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
So I was
even think
going
about
like
that.
130 or 120, 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Kilometers.
Did you ever
So
look
that
at it
was
and be like,
pretty cool.
oh my goodness, I'm speeding?
There was a couple of times where I go, oh my, how fast am I going? But then it was just cool. But one thing that was cool there is it was very, very nice, which during that time of the year, it's not usually that nice.
Really?
So, like, one of our beach days that we went, like, I actually got, like, really sunburnt, which is very cool. But we were at the beach, and then the sea, or the Med, it was, like, chilly, but if you, like, just went in there and, like, just moved around, it was, like, bearable. Like, you could just do it.
Yeah.
You felt cold a little bit, but like if you just kept swimming, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
And then the second time we went, the sea was still cold and chilly, but it was a lot more bearable.
Just because you feel like you got used to it, or it warmed up?
No, I just think it was it got warmed up throughout the week.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. With the driving, do you feel like you saw more accidents or less accidents?
I have no idea.
Okay. Because
the reason why I say I have no idea is because while I was driving there, I was completely focused on following my cousin, because I have no idea where I'm going. Yeah. And all that stuff. So I just really focused on driving with her. And then there'd be times our long drives that I'd be like driving and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm following this car. Oh, because I'd be driving, I would totally forget that I'm following a car. Yeah. And I'm just like, where am I going? And then I'm like, oh wait, I'm following this car. And she has like a really nice Porsche. Yeah. So, or Porsche, however you want to say it.
Was it hard to keep up with? Because what kind of car did you have?
I had like a, I don't even know what, you remember what it was or no? I think it was like a small Toyota or something like that.
And the Toyota kept up?
I mean, she wasn't going anything crazy. She did a great job as someone that like needs to follow her.
Yeah.
There's like certain drivers that are like they're following me, and like you have to like try. It's so difficult to keep up or follow them.
Yeah.
Or like stay with them. Like she was conscious about lights. Like when they mattered, she was conscious about like switching lanes and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, so.
And you didn't have like your maps up, or is there maps?
There's like a
different?
few times that we had maps up, but we pretty much were just following her the whole time.
Okay.
But that trip was like a life-changing experience, and like the places we saw and everything, it was very, very cool. It was unbelievable. We went to the island of Santorini.
I was gonna ask you where you went around.
Yeah, so that island was like in the middle. Oh, they can't really see the table, but there's like it's a big circle, and in the middle of that circle is like a volcano, and it used to all be land, but then the volcano blew up whenever it did, and now it's like a volcano in the middle, water all around, and then like a crescent. Oh my goodness, croissant is that shape though. We can even go with it. A croissant of island, and then like chunks of island, and it's very, very cool. Like whenever you see of Greece or hear of Greece, so with the white buildings and like the blue tops over the blue sea, that's where we went.
Dude, that's I saw photos, and it didn't look real.
Yeah,
like,
it didn't feel real.
That's crazy. It almost looked like you went to like Disney World.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I think anytime I see something too big, and I can't like touch it or experience it all at once, I don't think it's real. Excuse me, sorry. Like I see all that water, and I see all like the houses and like the island continuing on, and I'm like, it just doesn't look real. It's I'm kind of bummed out about it.
Really?
Because it's like I feel like I'm not fully experiencing. And now I think back on the trip and I remember it all, but I'm like, I'm not there. And it's like I think that is like why it's very important to be present in the moment, to really take it in. I try to do different techniques to try to take in a moment, like by like do some like deep breathing.
Yeah.
And like just like touch something, or I don't know, like just try to absorb the moment. What do you like to do to be present, to stay present in the moment?
I truly try to change my mood and make sure that I'm happy, because I feel like when you're sad or maybe you're tired, I feel like it's hard to focus in. So I like to make sure I'm happy, and you're around your family and around people you love so much. So I would like, my tactic is always see who you're with. I'm very grateful that I'm with these people, and I cannot believe I'm experiencing this, and I focus in. I do the same thing you do too, though, when I touch. People probably think I'm weird, because you just like the texture. I feel like it's so important in a lot of things. Yeah. So you do deep breathing?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's a thing or not, but I just like really try to get a lot of oxygen in. Yeah. And control my breath. And I'm like, for some reason in my head, that makes me think that I'm going to be more present in the moment. But I really try to take in, because while I'm there, I'm like, man, I know in the future I'm going to think back to it, and I'm not going to be like, I don't know. And everything's so fast paced, because you're like seeing everything for the first time, and then you're just kind of past it. But that's where you kind of have to create moments and like those memories, take photos and stuff. Like when we go on this trip to Kenya, it's like, I think back to when I went last year. Oh, excuse me. And back to the regular program. I think back to last time that we went, I was like, wow, like I can think back to moments of where I was and everything, but it's just like, I can't remember it fully. I can't feel like I was there. Yeah. And so it's like when we go there, I'm going to be like, I really got to focus. Like if I had like a lot of money, I would 100% pay someone to record me and take photos of me on cameras. Because I hate having my phone out and looking through my phone at stuff. But I don't want to miss out on like remembering things. Right. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. So you went to Istanbul, or that was the airport?
That was the airport.
What cities did you hit, or did you go to?
Well, we were there. I don't remember the city names. We went to
Athens.
Yeah, we went to Athens, Greece, that was insane. We went to like Poseidon's Temple. We went to Santorini. we went to different beaches at different parts of Greece.
By the Med? Is it all by the Med? Is that like their beach?
Yeah, all of them,
Okay.
all the beaches we went to, it was on the Mediterranean. But yeah, I don't remember a lot of the names, and the names are, some of them are funky.
Yeah.
But the last night we were there, I believe, or one of the last days we were there, we went to Athens and we saw the Acropolis, which is like what they used to lift up like Athena in memorial to Athena. Like that's what Athens is, that city. That last night we went and found a restaurant that had a rooftop restaurant that viewed the Acropolis over the city, and we did it at sunset. So we saw it on sunset, and then we were there because dinners last long. Like for example, like we got there at 6:30, 7, and they said to us, yeah, the next person that's coming is at 10, so you just gotta leave by 10. Like that's how they are. Like the next person that was gonna come and reserve that table was at 10 p.m. Like there's that, and maybe that restaurant was nicer or whatever, but I think that culture of like, do you know how we go to a restaurant here in America and you sit down and like, you know, the waiting staff, if you're sitting there, they need someone else to come sit.
Right.
So like after a while they're like, oh, here's your check, here's this, and they're like trying to get you go. There they'll keep on bringing you food, they'll keep on like filling your water, they'll ask if you're okay. Like the hospitality over there is insane. And like they just let you do your thing, and then whenever you want to leave, you want to leave. And then my cousin is also, she's very well connected.
Yeah.
They have a well-off family. So there's, on the way home one time, we wanted to get like food, and there's this pizza place, there's this Italian place or whatever, and they have these pizzas made out of gondolas. So like a big, like a, I think that's what it's called. It's like a big like boat.
Yeah.
Kind of that you eat out of. So like in the middle, it's a little soupy, the cheeses, but it's like, it's pretty cool. And they were gonna close or whatever, but then she said, we were planning on coming, can you guys like, you know, serve us or whatever. So we got there, sat us down, and you know, there's another table there. They ended up leaving, but then we were just all sitting there eating and stuff, and we're like, hey, when do they close? She goes, yeah, when we leave. And it wasn't like an inconvenience you were there. It was just like, they close when we leave.
Yeah.
But again, it kind of goes back to the culture. It's more like laid back of like, you know, and it's not like you just eat and get fat. All the food is like unprocessed. It's very natural and healthy. So it's not like junk food that you're eating. But it's just like they value over there. The culture values time spent together. So food and everything. A lot of people gather around food, and they value that, and they don't rush that. There's no problems with that. So
yeah, and you said that it's like a hour or 2 to 3 hours.
like 2 to 3 hour thing. Like
So
I think we got there at 6:30 or 7, and then we left at like 9 something.
Wow.
You know, like, you know, you sit down, you eat, you talk, you enjoy food. Food takes a little bit to come out, and like we're all tasting each other's like they're not appetizers, but like that's not what they would call them. But like you're all sharing food.
Yeah, and when you put a reservation in, you get that table for like, do they calculate that it's going to be that long?
No, that restaurant was a very, very nice restaurant.
Okay.
Very nice restaurant. To be a rooftop.
Yeah.
Over, it was on top of like a really nice hotel looking at the Acropolis. It's like a very nice restaurant. A lot of restaurants we actually couldn't get into because that day we weren't wearing like nice enough clothes. So this is one of the restaurants that just like let us in. Because again, it's an event, it's a special thing. And some restaurants that are really nice, they're like, yeah, you can come. You have to be wearing dress shoes. You have to be wearing like slacks. You have to be wearing a button up. Like you can't just be wearing whatever. So this restaurant took us in, and it's not like they calculated that in, but like when we were looking for reservations at the time, they said, yeah, you can come in. We just have someone that reserved the table at 10. Okay. So you guys just have to. And my cousin, when she was calling around, they're like, oh yeah, we have. She's like, and I want your best table of the view of the Acropolis. We're like, we'll give you our best table. And we came up there, and they introduced us. They're like, here's our best table. And it was like this round table with like a kind of tree in the middle. And then you oversee the Acropolis. You see the sea in the way in the back. And then, yeah. So I also do think I experienced the good side, like the well-off side of Greece, going with my family that lives there.
Right.
Because they just have a lot of connections. But also I think that is another thing you could do where you can just set up where you have a lot of connections and you know people.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people, like a big packed-in city, but it's small if you make those right connections.
So going there.
My cousin also is a phenomenal person at setting up trips. Like the very moment we got there to the very moment we left, there was like no like time that was like wasted on nothing. Like we saw
That's awesome.
anything and everything you could see. Like we fully experienced Greece.
Yeah. And going there, is there anything that like stuck out to you that was like maybe different or that was really cool that you were like, oh my goodness, if I'm going, I'm going to go there again? Or maybe it was just how the people acted or something like that.
If I go there again, I want that food, the daco.
The Daco?
Yeah, I want to experience that. I would advise anyone to go to Santorini.
Mm-hmm.
That's spectacular. When we were at Santorini, we were in the city, and then we went down to sea level because it was on like the mountains because it was elevated. We went to sea level. We went on to the active volcano, hiked up it, then came down. We swam in the hot springs of it, which was really cool. I'd advise anyone to go to the Acropolis, Athens. Anyone go to. We also saw like the first ever Olympic arena. Okay. Which was really cool. The marathon was there. Sparta. This is Sparta. That's there. The Olympics started there. So there's a lot more things. I think it was Paul. I think Paul went through the streets there in Corinthians. Oh, don't quote me on that. Someone told me that. Quoted. I was actually just reading, and it said it is walking through the streets of with the Greeks, and I was
like, Paul ordered a daco.
Yeah,
to go.
No, but there's just so much history there. It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
But they use euros, so like when you go over there with dollars, you lose money.
Oh, okay.
Because the dollar's worth less there.
Yeah.
Which kind of is a bummer. It's like you want to go somewhere where your dollar's worth more.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, we don't need a dollar.
Ew.
Because you lose money.
What was your favorite memory there? What was like?
Honestly, probably just hanging out with my family. I really enjoyed, like, under Poseidon's temple, we swam in like a cove, and it's kind of like.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you guys did that.
We climbed down the cliffs and we jumped into this cove. Me and my cousin, we like swam around there. And it was kind of cool. It's like because the lowercase G, God of the sea, and then we swim in the sea below is kind of like a funny thing. Seeing Santorini was amazing. The Acropolis, going to the beaches. One of the beaches we went into, it was a Four Seasons hotel beach, which that's like amongst the nicest hotels in the world. All like Four Season hotels are like the nicest places.
Really?
And we had to pay euro to get in there, 20 euro, because it was out of season. In season, it's 50 euro to get onto a beach. So that was amazing. The water was super clear and blue, and you could dive down like deep. You could be like 14, 15 feet above like the sand, and you could see all the way down. Oh my goodness. It was insane. Like it was literally a pool with sand on the bottom. It was like that clear.
Dude, that's
and
insane.
Like it felt like you could just keep on going and going and going. So that was amazing. But I'd have to say that going to and the volcano and stuff like all that, out of all those things, I had to say my favorite time was probably like one night we went over to the soccer field that they live right by. Yeah. And all of us cousins, we just played soccer while our older family members, they'd like walk the track or they're around. It was just so cool playing pickup soccer. And then it was a Saturday night, so there's a bunch of other families and friends that were around. Yeah. Just doing their own thing. And it's just cool to have that moment. And then we went back to the house. We'd eat food in the kitchen. They have an elevator in their house, which was like cool. We played hide and go seek tag. Yeah. So like my cousin Bennett, he would like go in the elevator and constantly be going up and down, up and down. And then I would be running around. And my cousins are young. Yeah. So like we'd just mess around with them. But like I'd often hide in a spot and they'd go past me, and then I'd go back to the starting area because they would never think to look there again until the very end. So probably just time like at the house, with my 3 younger cousins, along with playing soccer just like at the neighborhood. Like, one funny story, we went to the soccer field in the morning with my 2 younger cousins. My older cousin's 10. The older cousin's 10, and the other one's, I don't know. But we were playing soccer. They're young. And it was me versus them two. I had, like, just a goal between, like, 2 shirts, and then they had, like, the big regular goal.
Yeah.
And so I see my older cousin lean down, and he's, like, in Greek, starts saying something, whispering. Then he, like, looks over at me, stands straight up, and out loud starts speaking in Greek. And I'm like, are you game planning me? Are you game planning in front of me in a different language because you know I can't speak it? And he kind of looked at me and, like, smiled, and then kept on going. I'm like, no way. Like, for him to be like, hey, wait, he doesn't know what I'm saying. And then to get up and just say it out loud in Greek, it was hilarious. But, like, definitely that night. We wanted to go do it again, but we didn't find a time to. We ended up playing a lot of soccer in the house, which was a lot of fun.
Really?
Yeah. My older cousin, she is just like, let the kids be kids. So, like, they have a bunch of soccer balls in the living room, and they would slam it against the wall and everything. Yeah. My aunt and my nana weren't happy too much because we would jump in, and they could yell at us because, you know, they're our aunt and nana. But with the other cousins doing it, because it's their home, they're like, yeah, they can just do their thing. But it was a blast. Probably just that family time together, I have to say.
That's beautiful. And I just had a question. It just slipped me. And okay, you said this was your favorite place. You came back and you were like, you said I can confidently say that Greece is my favorite place.
Yeah, like my favorite country outside the United States.
Favorite country, that's what you said.
I've been, and I haven't been to a lot. I've been in Costa Rica, I've been Kenya, and now Greece. But the level of culture that I experience and family and the ties and memory that I have, I'd say that's my greatest trip I've ever been on. Really? Just because of all the experiences and the family and everything is just spectacular. And my cousin Michelle, I am forever grateful for like how she set up that trip. It was spectacular. Like we were making jokes how she needs to plan trips and be a travel agent for a living because she is an amazing job at it. Like if I actually took the time to go through the day-by-day schedule and everything, you'd be like each day that she scheduled would be like a regular trip to a normal person. Oh, really? And we did that 8 times, essentially. Like each day would have been like a week trip that you could go on, and we did it in a day. Like we literally flew from Greece to one of its islands, Santorini, and then flew back. And we flew there, spent the whole day there, flew back. Like people go to Santorini and stay there for a couple of days and then come back. We did that in a day. And then another day we took a train all the way down to Athens, like downtown Athens, saw Acropolis, and then all the tourist area spots, and then came back. And then another day we went to a nice beach, and it's beach day, but it's like an hour or so drive away. But like people would usually stay at the hotel there, and then it was just, she did a great job, and we saw everything. We drove through the mountains a lot of times too. But, overall, to wrap up this Greece thing, I appreciate you guys listening and stuff. It's just a little thing that I think maybe this episode's more for us or for me, like a timestamp to to reflect on. But for you guys, some takeaways is just the point of, hey, some takeaways is the point of go out, travel, experience things. Right. I think my goal and challenge for you, people listening, for you, is work on trying to be in the moment and be present in the moment, because that is the most important thing when it comes to traveling, seeing the world. I have one of my papa, he says he's traveled all over the world, and takes notebooks and stuff. He's like, no, write it down, because you look at pictures and you're as old as me, you look at it and you go, oh, that's a nice picture, I don't remember going there. Or what were we doing, he's like, write it down. So it's try to find ways to practice. And you don't need to be on the other side of the world seeing the most beautiful sea in the city and rooftop with but learn how to take in moments with people that you care about, with game nights with friends, with a funny night out at the drive-in movie theater. If you're going, have a special birthday or something, learn how to take those moments in.
Yeah.
Because those stuff is life kind of moves by fast, especially when you're enjoying it. So it's learn how to take those moments in and to relish on it. I think that's the word. Maybe not. Maybe that's a food or something. I don't know. But that's my challenge to those people. And I think that's where we kind of wanted to talk about this Greece story. It's to talk about some fun things about someone that you watch on a weekly basis, hopefully, to know where we were. Upcoming, we have a trip. So we're banking up. I don't know if we can say that, but we have some podcasts we're going to set up while we're gone.
Our hair is going to be consistent throughout.
While we're gone. We might be wearing the same thing. I don't know. But we're going to be gone, and hopefully when we come back, we can fully talk about that experience. Again, I share that with you guys to kind of push you guys out to, try different things, see new things, and learn how to take in the moment. Yeah.
I'm a person that sadly, I think I could easily, if I didn't meet you, if I didn't have you as a friend or Jayla or whatever, that enjoy traveling out and seeing new things. I feel like I would have been stuck inside. So hearing you, first of all, thank you for sharing about Greece, because Greece, you sold me on it. I want to go now. It sounds absolutely fun, and house music sounds amazing. But it sounds amazing. But after hearing that and being your friend, I've gotten to travel. And listen, guys, traveling, yes, it can be expensive, but there's also things that you can go see and new experiences like you were talking about that are so eye-opening and life-changing. So I 100% agree with Braedon. Braedon's such a smart guy. Such a smart guy. And honestly, you fueled my curiosity, and he fueled yours. This has been episode 24, which I think when we hit 30, I think I'm gonna cry, because that's insane. That's more than half once we hit 30. Well, it's more than half once we hit 29 or something like that. No, dang it, my math is off. Probably, yeah. I don't even want to do the math right now.
You're trying to do the math there.
I am.
Do you want me? All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast, BC Procast, episode 24. That's 24 weeks in a row, and we're going to keep it going strong for I don't know how long. I feel like maybe at some point, we're not going to miss a week. We're not planning on it, but I feel like we low-key have to break that weird thing. I don't know. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. We know we fueled your curiosity. Now I know a little bit more about Greece.
Yeah.
Another fun fact, when you go use the bathroom and you go number 2, the toilet paper that you use, that doesn't get disposed in the toilet. It gets disposed in a trash can. So it makes the whole activity of going number 2 a chore, I feel like. Just because the pipes in Greece are so old and ancient that they're so small that you don't want it to clog up easily. So it's only that stuff that goes in there, if you know what I'm saying.
Number 2. You know what I'm saying? Also, you can't take big... No, I'm just kidding. 26. 26 is going to be halfway. But did you say leave a like, subscribe? Because I was zoned in on the math.
Go. No, I didn't.
Leave a like, subscribe, share it to people that Greek people that you know, and see if he's telling the truth.
Yeah,
fact check.
Maybe I didn't even go to Greece.
Maybe he didn't. I would have believed him that he did, but you never know. Share it with at least 5 people. Comment something. Comment a place that you traveled that was life-changing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't prayed, make sure that you pray. It's good to talk to the Lord. And we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.